can you tell us, how did your son inspire you to get into the world of art licensing? I know he's a little bit responsible for this.
Yeah, totally. This was an amazing moment when my son and I were picking up the dry cleaning, and he was about 4 years old. And we walked past a little bookstore next door, and there in the window were a whole bunch of rubber stamps on a rack. And he said, "Mom, we need to go in that store." And I said, "No, we're really not spending any more money on anything today."
Right.
And he convinced me to go in. So I did. And the minute I picked up one of those rubber stamps off the rack, the thought came to me, you should do this. Like, you could totally draw for rubber stamps. And so I bought the stamp and took it home and reached out through information, because it was before internet, right? So
No Google.
call 111 and ask the operator to connect me to Commotion Rubber Stamps. And so I talked to Vesta Abel, and we're still friends to this day on Facebook. I mean, I'm talking like, it's been, my son is now, wow, how old is Ryan? 29.
Oh my goodness.
So 25 years
Right.
ago.
Right.
And Vesta said, "Hey, just fax me some drawings." And I thought, how am I going to do this? I had a bunch of little kids. We were absolutely broke. We were putting all our money into my husband's roofing business. And so I thought, I will only spend money when I have made money. I'm going to make myself learn the business. So I got out a casserole dish and I got some twinkle lights. I needed a light table. And when I started looking at prices, they've come way down through the years, but back then it was $500 for a little light desk that you plug in the wall. And so for me, a casserole dish, white twinkle lights, a Sharpie marker, one of the fine point ones, and some cardstock was the way I started my business.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, that I made $20,000 within, I would say it was about 18 months from the time I first talked to Vesta until I had actually generated that kind of income from 75 little drawings that went on rubber stamps to Michael's craft stores.
Oh my goodness.
So it was amazing. And I never looked back. That was my beginning of art licensing.
Well, you were resourceful, to say the least.
I was, and it's always part of my spirit, like a pioneering spirit of, how can I do this and still do, be a mom? How can I do this and still volunteer or serve? And so for me, fitting that little desk into a corner of my kitchen on a folding card table that could be put away when company came over. And I'd work till the casserole dish was too hot for my hand. And that was about the right amount of time to stop and check on the kids and start dinner.
Step away from the casserole dish.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Does Ryan still remind you that he was the little inspiration behind all this?
So funny, a few years ago, I think he kind of didn't realize what he had done because he was so little. He didn't make the connect. But he was working a temp job while he was waiting for his wife. His wife's from Peru. So they needed to get green cards and bring the baby. So they had a baby born in Peru, and he'd go back and forth. And so he took a summer job working for an alarm company installing, and he got into a neighborhood where there was a lot of elderly people, which tend to like my gift bag art. I don't know why, but it seemed like it was Christmas time and everybody had these gift bags. And he says, "That's my mom's art." And finally he sent me a photo and just said, "Mother, you're famous. Did you know you're famous?" I said, "If it's a Dollar Tree gift bag, yeah, I'm famous." And so that was when I reminded him that inspiration, if it hadn't been for him tugging on my sleeve, Mom, we should go in the store. We need to get those rubber stamps." And sometimes I wonder, do angels kind of whisper to our children, "Hey, the universe is calling." And
right.
It changed our life. That money actually really helped when it came in a few years later. We had moved, and that led me to my next inspiration for those gift bags.